Bienvenidos a Deuces Wild Bitches!
Where are we coming from today, Mr. Burns? Because you are not in California.
No, we are not in Studio 22. We are actually in Savannah, Georgia,
Are you
where
with
we
Savannah Bananas?
was with the Bananas today, got to practice with them, took some hacks. Biscuit got to take some ground balls, took some hacks as well. Just a awesome experience. This place is all growing up, dude. They have grandstands now in the outfield. Like, you have to understand, when I first came here, Thrill, don't get me wrong, Grayson Stadium, 100 years old, all kinds of history, and all these great players and legends of the game who have come through here. It's still, any way you want to cut it, like a pretty old and run down. Shitty's not the right word because there's nothing shitty about it, but it is a stadium that needed some love, right? Does that make sense?
Right.
And since I came, and this is only a couple years ago, this is 2022.
Right.
It has dramatically changed. And obviously, as you know, they're selling out big league stadiums and they're doing their whole thing. And they've taken the show to an entirely new level. They now have not just two teams. It's not just the Bananas and the Party Animals, but it's the Bananas and Party Animals. They got the Firefighters. They got the Visitors. They have more teams coming into the mix. So they have locker rooms under the grandstands that they have now in left field for all these other teams. It was wild to watch, man. Like, they're just wild to see today for me, because I'm like, dude, 2 years ago, we're sitting here scratching our heads going, is this going to work, right? They had done a 1-city world tour. We were going on a 14-city world tour, and now they're playing 100-plus games, and it's been it's been a wild ride, but obviously it's working.
Hey, before you get to our title sponsor, I got to let everybody know in the chat room, this No Filter shirt is brought to you by Tommy Luke. He has connections. I don't know what the connections are, but he comes up with this kind of shirt. I mean, we had one for my jersey retirement. We've had one for the freaking Giants attitude. We've had one for my ranch. And Tommy Luke, thank you for my shirt. I mailed EB his. He's been on the road. He hadn't got his yet. But thanks, Tommy Luke.
Tommy, I'm sure I've got mine. But the problem is that my wife, for whatever reason, keeps having these Amazon packages delivered every single fucking day, bro.
Hey,
I have an absolute disdain for packages that arrive at the house, and all of them say Tara Burns. So this would be the one, obviously, would say Eric Burns, which I did not see yet, and we somehow have missed. We have been on the road for a while, but I'm sure he'll be waiting for me when I get home.
Hey, I got the same problem. I got like 8 Amazon dudes and ladies, and I know them all by name because they drop off packages nonstop all day long. If it ain't Miss Lisa, it's Miss Ella, one or the other, wearing me out.
Well, at least I'm not the only one, because now I got packages coming for Callie, I got packages coming for Chloe, and now Colton all of a sudden has figured out how to use this Apple Pay thing, and now I got packages coming for Biscuit. It's just like, dude, enough's enough, man.
All right,
enough's enough.
Let's get to Shohei Ohtani bet on baseball.
Exactly, Thrill. That's our title sponsor, Bet Online, the #1 online gambling destination. If you want the latest news, scores, predictions, odds, go to Bet Online. Degenerates gather there. There's an entire community of Bet Online bettors. You could go to the slots when you're done laying your sports gambling action. You could go to the blackjack. Be careful. That's just through experience, the online blackjack thing. But if it's your thing, it's your thing. Bet Online is there for you. Bet Online. The game starts here. And to get 50% off your first deposit for the first $250, put in the promo code BLEAV, capital B-L-E-A-V. And that will get you the 50% off your first deposit. Bet online, your number one gambling destination. Done.
There you go. Very nicely done. You're getting so good at this. You're knocking it out by memory now. Look at you go.
I didn't have a choice. I don't have the script in front of me.
You can't have a script. You're in freaking Savannah Bananas country.
Dude,
by the way, welcome to the South. Welcome to the heat. Ta-da. Now you guys know what it's like to play baseball when it's freaking hot.
Bro, so we're sitting at dinner. Like, awesome spot. It's called Rhett's. It's Southern comfort food. We had hush puppies. We had some sort of mushroom cheese thing on bread. It was so incredible. I then had this pork chop that was diced up and spiced up and just amazing. And then at the end, they brought out the beignets, right? And I don't know if you're a big beignet guy, but these beignets are just, they're fucking melting your mouth. We had mac and cheese. We had a biscuit, got the bread, like incredible meal. And then through all of it, outside, just gorgeous building, gorgeous views of a fucking hurricane, man. I mean, dude, it was 50-mile-per-hour winds, sideways rain, thunder, lightning, building shaking. I'm like, what is this? And I'm freaking out. And I'm asking the waitress, I said, are we going to be okay? There's a hurricane outside. She goes, this happens every day.
Every day. Hey, look, as long as if you're on the left-hand side of the storm, you're fine. If you're on the right-hand side of the storm, you're going to get your ass kicked. So you must be on the left-hand side of the storm.
Why? What does that mean?
Because hurricanes rotate counterclockwise. So all the flow comes counterclockwise. So if you're on the right-hand side, all the shit's coming back.
It's coming into you.
Yep, exactly. And that's what backs up all the water. So if you got like rivers and bays and stuff like that, that flow backs up into the rivers and bays, and that's what floods everything.
That's wild, man. I mean, I'm talking. It's funny because we were talking about it at dinner just as a family, and it's not that we haven't seen severe weather. Obviously, living in the Lake Tahoe region, and it was funny because the kids were like, Daddy, like we see storms like this, but it's not rain. The ones we see like this, it's snow, and they're blizzards.
Yeah,
and those are the whiteouts of the things that was like just taken aback. But as far as the thunderstorms are concerned, we do get some Tahoe thunderstorms, but you've seen those before, right? Out in Reno, they kind of come and they go, and there's nothing. Battleborn Mike knows all about it. They're just kind of like these little weenie thunderstorms. Nothing like this.
I get you, my man. So Biscuit's playing a little tournament or something over there?
Yeah, so this is how this whole trip went down. Basically, we were supposed to play in a pickleball tournament in Utah this coming up weekend, and then Biscuit made the Northwest team for the USA Baseball NTIS series coming up. So my pickleball partner bailed on me and was like, okay, that's done. So we couldn't play because we had to come out to Cary, North Carolina to give them an opportunity to participate in this. But we found a pickleball tournament actually in Tennessee, which was this past weekend. So we went to that pickleball tournament instead, and then we had a couple days to spare. So we went to Hilton Head, South Carolina. One of the coolest fucking places I've ever been in my life. I never thought I would say this, real. Like, it was, especially because I'm kind of a beach snob, right? I grew up in California. I grew up going to Hawaii twice a year. These beaches, insane. The sand, hard packed. People riding bikes on the beaches. I went running on the beach. It felt like I was running on a track. Like, it was just an awesome experience. The water, warm. They had a whole pickleball community center there that I went to play at every single day. They had organized games. The whole thing was just super cool. Great restaurant. So Hilton Head, South Carolina, somewhere I've never been, but obviously somewhere I certainly would go back.
It's a kind of a very similar like Savannah. Very, very similar,
Yeah.
except Hilton Head's more on the beach, and yeah, it's definitely more of a destination. So, um, hey, the Gigantes, we hadn't really talked about them. I know we've been missing out on those guys. Uh, they had a little rough go of it with the Braves, but then other than that, they won the two games against your former ball club, Oakland A's. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's go to the last game of the series. I mean, Blake Snell pitching, and I saw some quotes from Bob Melvin talking about how important it was to him, and just he got to the ballpark early and 7:30 the last day. He wore white cleats or at least
Yeah,
white
yeah,
shoes, and
yeah.
that was kind of a tribute to Oakland. Obviously, he spent 10 years there as a manager. He's been a part of this series as a player. Playing for the Giants, obviously, and now managing the Giants. And all that time he spent with the A's, he grew up in the Bay Area. He went to Menlo Atherton High School, so very similar to me. I think in a lot of respects that we have a lot of ties to this as a fan, as a player, as somebody that's been involved with this. And then Blake still goes out there, he deals, the Giants end up walking it off in the 10th, and that's it. And so, I got a lot of questions about, what does it mean that it's over? Like, are you
Yeah,
sad? And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, am I sad? Like, I had great memories going there as a kid and going to these preseason games and going to the '89 World Series and
right.
then getting to play. And I recapped this the other day on KNBR when they were asking about it, and I'm like, dude, it just hit me. I'm like, dude, I hit my first home run in the big leagues with 60,000 people at the Coliseum, like
Yeah,
against Sean
exactly.
Estes. It was
Exactly.
so cool. Got to
Yeah.
hit for the cycle, got to be such a huge part of this. And, it's over. And that's it. And, without getting into too much of the details or anything else, I'm like, it's a colossal failure on Oakland's end.
Yeah,
And it's
I mean,
it's
look,
bad.
yeah, I mean, it's sad. I mean, not only those memories that you just brought up right there, but the teams that I played against in the '80s, and then you go back to the '70s, in the '60s, '70s. We talked about it last week with Catfish Hunter, Vida Blue, Raleigh Fingers, Joe Rudy, Sal Bando, Gene Tennis. I mean, you can just reel off these names, and man, it's just a history of the Oakland A's. It's a history of the Bay Area, just like the Giants are. It's the same thing on the other side of the Bay with Oakland, and I guess it would be very similar to like the Raider Nation, when they left. The Oakland A's nation is kind of the same thing. It's sad. I mean, it really is sad that sports have gone this way to where you can lose a franchise like that.
What about the battles with those teams from the late '80s?
Oh
The
my
'89
God,
series, like, dude,
yeah.
that it doesn't get much better than that,
No,
does it?
no, no. And the thing was, if we saw them, because this was before interleague and all that, if we saw them during the season, it was in the World Series, which is where we saw them. But we played them 8 or 9 times in spring training every year, and you know, I was teammates with Mark McGuire on the Olympic team, and then I know Terry Steinbach, Carney Lansford. I mean, we talk about the Ricky Henderson stories, how freaking funny he is, and Walt Weiss and Dave Catfish Henderson, who was freaking hysterical in his own right, and I mean, it was a class organization. It was fun to play against them. You want to play against an organization that is going to give you a freaking A game every time out there. You don't want to play against an organization that is going to keel over on you. And I enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
What was it like being at the height of your career and sharing a city with Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire?
Yeah, yeah, and it goes past that. I mean, matter of fact, believe it or not, I still see him till today is because he does some of the A stuff pre and post game as Dave Stewart. I mean,
Oh,
facing
Stu.
Dave Stewart, that was a freaking full on battle, dude. I mean, He's going to give you his best stuff. He knows you're up there grinding against him. And I mean, and then you got Eckersley and Honeycutt and those guys coming in at the end of the game to finish it off. It was awesome, man. I mean, you know, you knew those guys because, like I said, we played them 8 times in spring training. You knew those guys just as good as you knew your own team because we played them eight times in a span of less than a month in spring training. So, you know, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. The stadium was completely different back then before they added the freaking Love Boat out there in center field. You know, they added the Love Boat, and it made the stadium completely different. But when they had the bleachers out there, it was pretty interesting. And one of the things that you and I talk about, we talk about it a lot, Candlestick and the Coliseum were very similar in how much foul ground they had. You had to chase everything. So, you know, your third baseman, pretty much everybody on the field, you're in a full-on sprint for every fly ball. It didn't matter. And so at the end of the game, you were like gassed. You were like, you know, it's like, I only ran after 40 foul balls today. You know, it's all right. So
what poster was it? Was it you and Mark McGuire sitting on top of a cop car by the Bay Bridge? I had that poster. I'm just trying to I think I get this one confused with the Pacific Stock Exchange.
Yeah, no, we weren't sitting on the cop car. The cop car was in the background, and it was one of those posters that, you know, I know Canseco and I did it, and McGuire and I did it, and I know Matt Williams also did it too. We did the Mother's Cookies posters, the kind of big posters with Mother's Cookies. So those, and then it was McGuire and I with a cop car. And then it was Canseco and somebody else with something else. So, I mean, yeah, we did. And every time they did, like, I guess you want to say, like a benefit. Like, so to benefit the San Francisco police or the Oakland police or whatever it was, They made something like that to where you signed a bunch of them and they went out and they got funds for it, you know?
What was your relationship like with Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco?
Mark McGuire and I are like bros. You know, like I said, we won the Olympic team together. He played first. I played a lot of outfield on the Olympic team because Rod Dato, who was our coach, was from USC. Mark played for him, so he got the nod at first base more than I did. But that's fine. I didn't mind it as long as I was in the lineup. Mark and I were tight. We were tight in St. Louis. We were tight when we played, you know, against each other in in Oakland. And Canseco is just a flat-out goofball. He's just a flat-out goofball. He says shit that you just, like, shake your head at. Like, I don't know, one interview he called me a freaking 3-toed sloth. And I was actually pretty impressed that he knew what a fucking 3-toed sloth was, all right? Because I watched the National Geographic Channel. I know what a sloth is. I couldn't believe he actually came up with that one. I was like, damn, all right, Jose. But then, you know, then he'd do shit like, you know, him and his ex-wife, you know, had a bumper cars on 880 going south one day. CHP officers the next day at the ballpark were like, hey, you heard about Jose? And I'm like, no, what? And they're like, yeah, he got in a big bumper car all the way down 880 with his wife. They're trying to run each other off the road. And they go, and get this. I go, what? He was in full uni. I had to laugh. I go, he's in uni driving down 880 and they're playing bumper cars? He goes, oh, hell yeah. I'm like, ah, Jesus.
Well, there's that epic documentary, and there's a shot of Jose like taking off in his red Ferrari.
Yeah, one of them, yeah.
Leaving Candlestick and doing what he could do to get back. Like he's at a gas station with his red Ferrari and his wife. I think she was with him at the time, but there he is, this full uni taking off from the ballpark.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of that. Right? Like I could not imagine leaving a ballpark under just about any circumstance, with the exception of the fact that I guess if the ballpark was burning up, where I'd be full uni.
Hey, guess what? Nowadays, all right? And no kidding, I have had this discussion. I could not tell you how many times. There are some of our Latin kids that play a full 9-inning game walk off the field, put their street clothes on, and out the clubhouse they go. And I go, whoa, 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 time out here. Oh, yeah, Flacco, that shit ain't cutting it. You need to go take a shower. It's called personal hygiene. You need to go take a shower right now. You stink. You've been sweating the whole time. You ain't going home. Oh, Poppy, I shower when I get home. No. That ain't the problem. You go in the shower right now. That's how you play Major League Baseball. You go in the shower and you get dressed. And they're like, oh, okay, Poppy. So I got to tell these kids in my leagues, go take a shower after you play a 9-inning game. I mean, that's where this shit's gone. So anyway,
Dude, it's kind of weird.
yeah.
I mean, it's interesting how the kids will avoid the showers, and I don't know if it's the bunch of dudes just afraid to get naked in front of each other these days, or
I don't know. Either
what
that
it is.
or they got to bolt out of there because they think they got some babe waiting on them. Hey, look, she'll wait. Just hang in there. All right, you go freaking bathe first before you go see her. Hey, did I tell you? Did we talk about kids not wearing cups anymore on the infield? Did we talk about that?
I think we've mentioned it before, but it's a real thing, isn't it?
Oh, this is unbelievable. I mean, I have literally gone to 3 minor league teams this year, and out of the 3 minor league teams, and you're talking about, 12, 15, 18 infielders, 2 have worn a cup. And I'm like, whoa. And they're like, and then, some of the Latin guys go, Poppy, this is my cup right here. And he's talking about his glove. I go, you have not had bad hops in the infield. That's first off. Second off, you haven't had pain in the butt freaking teammates that would freaking walk by and cup check in. Oh, one of those numbers, So, so now check this one out. So it happened in San Jose and it happened in Eugene. I'm telling these kids, you need to wear a cup because, ball takes a bad hop, might hit, somebody's spike mark, it might go that way and, catch you, whatever. And they're like, oh, yeah, whatever. And so one of the kids, and I'll even mention him, is Cole Foster. He played for University of Auburn. War Eagles evidently are not that smart because he doesn't. And so we talked about this, and he's like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, all right. So they had a new first baseman playing first. And so normally, you catch the ball, you throw it to short goes to second goes to third, and then you throw it back to the pitcher. Well, that's not how they did it in San Jose. They caught the ball, and they threw it to second, and then they threw it to short, then they threw it to third, and then they threw it to the pitcher. Well, the new first baseman didn't know how to go about it, and so he catches the ball at first. He comes up firing, and the shortstop, Foster, is looking at the second baseman, never sees it. I mean, pow, one of them numbers. Down he goes, right? And I'm in the dugout freaking howling, right? And I start screaming, that's why we wear a cup! That's why we wear a cup! And after he came off the field, I was on the top step waiting on him, dude. I was on the top step waiting on him. And I lit into him again. And he goes, I know. And he went and hid in the corner and all that. I get to Eugene, and the same goddamn thing happens to one of their infielders. I'm like, this is freaking the baseball gods are talking right here.
Wear a cup. Wear a cup. No, I was an outfielder. I did not wear a cup. I want to be transparent with this.
Well, and then here's the thing. You're having to run 90 feet and then take a flying leap, Our leaps are a step, maybe 2 steps and a dive. That's it. No big deal.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that if you're playing on a dirt infield and somebody comes running in front of you and there's like part of the dirt clod that's missing, if that ball hits there, it ain't going straight. It's going one way or the other. And if you're expecting it, it's like, oh shit, one of them numbers. So anyway, these idiots. So that's my cup story. So you guys can post that one on viral video. Oh, by the way,
yes, we will.
Talking about that, everywhere I have been, people are like, Thrill, you and EB are a hoot. They're like, we watch all your TikToks, and your TikToks are freaking hysterical. And then they've been going back. The latest group that's been talking about it has been the one talking about you with the with the statue at Mississippi State with the big cock story. I'm like, that's EB right there.
That's a good one, dude. I want to take a time out for a second and raise one up and pour some into my throat for my lovely wife, Tara,
Tara,
who is
look
here.
at
Say
you.
hello, say hello to everybody. Who just brought me a Casamigos soda with 2 limes and some backup reinforcement ice because of an obsession I have with ice. And what are you drinking?
A Whistle Pig Sour.
A Whistle Pig Sour. What's the fucking Whistle Pig
We
Sour?
have Whistle Pig at the ranch, so I know what Whistle Pig.
What's Whistle Pig? Whiskey? Did you get it in honor of Thrill? He said he's got it at the ranch.
Yeah, no, we got it at the ranch. One of the guys brought a bottle up there.
I like the Blantons too, but I prefer Whistle Pig.
Okay. Well, here's the Whistling Pigs.
Whistling Pig.
Dude, so there's one that you just had that we put up today. Henry put it up today. That is about blown up second base. That's cool because it actually left all names out of it. He's like, you were talking about coming through. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but this thing's taken off. Like, I mean, as soon as I opened up my phone after dinner, he had apparently, when we were at dinner,
right,
had posted this thing, and it's doing huge numbers already. I know on Instagram, and basically talking about sliding into second base and going to try to break up a double play. And if you're a second baseman, get the fuck out of the way. That's your job.
Yeah, and here's another thing. You know, I guarantee you. You know, I mean, we went over this last week. You know, the guy. You know, he, believe it or not, he's with the Giants in spring training. Now he's with the Marlins. But then, McNeil, that was with the Mets. Yeah, we even talked about. I guarantee you that they do not know the rule. And the rule is, if you're in the baseline, you're eligible to be taking out. So let's say you're a second baseman, man on first, right? And somebody hits a slow roller to you. You come in, you charge, you grab it, and you go to tag the guy. That guy in the middle of the baseline can slide and just annihilate you, and it's completely legal. I guarantee you, if that happened today, somebody would get their little panties in a wad and want to fight. I promise you that would happen. And it's perfectly legal.
Of course. I mean, you know that. So, Thrill, it's something I noticed, I think it was last night, Jordan Hicks closing for the San Francisco Giants. And they sent Duvall down. I don't know a ton about that situation. I know obviously Duvall was struggling. I think it's a bold move. Typically, like if you're going to move your closer out, you move him into a low leverage setup role.
Yeah.
But they shipped his ass out.
You know,
and then Hicks is closing games now?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been there since end of July, and they sent him out August 9th. So he's been down 11 days now, and Jordan Hicks is, you know, he's been in the bullpen, you know, with the Cardinals before, and his velocity jumps back up anytime he gets in the pen. So evidently Bo Mel wanted to run him out there as the closer, but I don't know what the deal was behind Duvall. All I know is he was our all-star last year, and you know, here lately, you know, he had squandered a few leads. He had come in 3 or 4, I don't know, outings in a row and had given up crucial runs. So I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to have him go down and not have a lot of pressure on him, tighten up his delivery a little bit more, whatever it might be. Put it this way, I'm going out there end of August to be out there for the Autism Night, and I will be asking questions.
Yeah, when is that?
That's Friday, August 30th. Hope to see you guys at the ballpark. Friday, August 30th is Autism Night, and yeah, so I'll be doing that. And then guess what? This is the first time I've ever done this, but I'm going to have the family with me. And let's see, Sunday, which is September 1st, I know the keyboard player for The Who, his name is Lauren Gold, and now he's doing some keyboarding for Chicago. Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire are having a concert at Concord Pavilion. We're going over to the concert on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, taking the fam over there. That ought to be cool.
So you got Chicago and
Earth, Wind, and Fire. And
Earth,
then,
Wind, and Fire.
yeah, probably be backstage with Lauren and them, just bullshitting. He's a huge Giants fan. He's from the Bay Area, so it'd be cool.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, look at those two bands. I mean, Chicago and then Earth, Wind, and Fire. Think how many freaking hits they got. It's going to be just a jam the whole time.
Absolutely. Look at the Giants lineup tonight. It's Tyler Fitzgerald, Lamont Wade Jr., you got Ramos, Conforto, Chapman, Yastrzemski, Estrada. And then we get to the ace spot in the lineup. Grant McCray.
There you go.
Who has got some good numbers, sitting 333, 979 OPS in the early going. Tell us a little bit about McCray, Thrill.
So Grant McCray is the son of Rodney McCray, and you and I talked about it. Maybe some of the people in the chat room might know, but Rodney McCray back in our era, he was in AAA and like ran through a fence, like face first, ran through a fence, and the fence flopped over, and he freaking just disappeared. You know, one of those numbers.
It was in Portland.
Yeah, is that where it was? You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. But anyway, so Grant is his son. Very speedy outfielder, really, really good defensive outfielder. His big thing is, the stick. He's getting better. He's trying to cut his holes down. When he has problems, he chases the high fastball. If he makes the ball come down, he's okay. He starts chasing that high fastball, he has all kinds of issues. But in the early going, like you said so far, he's done a great job. He's got a homer, and he laid down a great suicide squeeze, not too long ago. And he had a single to get in the middle of that rally last night or the night before, whenever it was.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've seen him come up, it seems like he's coming up big. He's getting a big knock. Thrilled that Rodney McCray going through the wall in Portland. I mean, that was an iconic video, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, when he did it, they showed it on TV, like, I don't know, This Week in Baseball or whatever. I was like, oh, how did that guy not break his neck? I mean, because, dude, he freaking face planted, and then he just disappeared. Like, poof, where'd he go? So
anyway. This is a crazy thing about it. So my first professional series that I ever played was actually in Portland. And, when I got there, everyone's like, oh, yeah, this is a place where the guy went running through the wall. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And I do remember the video, right?
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm like, well, they must have made some sort of alterations to the wall, right? You can't just have a guy like running through a wall. Like, that's not cool.
Right.
So I was a guy that would often run into fences. And so every ballpark that I would go to, I would test out the fence and just kind of, give it a little nudge. And it's like, oh, okay, there's some give here. There's some pads here. This is a fence here.
Yeah.
This is probably a spot. There's a little concrete here. I don't want to mess with this. And there's a scoreboard here. And so I would go through all of it. And I go and I check it out here in Portland. And I'm like, wait, what? And the thing's moving on me, dude. I'm like, no wonder the fucking guy ran through the wall. Bro, if I ran into this thing full speed, I was going through as well. There's just these panels that are just put up there. They're nothing.
So it wasn't like nailed down or anything. It's just like,
no,
just dude,
it was moving. This thing, like one of those metal sheets is like this thin. It was crazy. I'm like, I can't believe they haven't fucking fixed this thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, so anyway,
man.
So Grant McCray, I saw him last year. Well, actually, yeah, because I didn't see him in San Jose. I saw him last year in Eugene. We worked extensively in the cage about, you and I talk about it, is like a ball up. If you're going to swing at a ball up, you got to get your hands up a little higher to get that attack back down on it. If you drop your hands on the ball up, you're going to start from up underneath it, and you're going to have to work up to it, right? And so we worked on that last year. This year, I saw him actually in Richmond. He hadn't even got promoted to Sacramento yet. I saw him in Richmond, and he was doing a better job. He had not had the success yet, but he was hitting the ball hard. He was making hard outs, and then they bumped him up to AAA, and then we've had a few little injuries, and he is a true center fielder. He is a definite true center fielder. He has Gold Glove potential out there too.
Nice.
And Heliot Ramos, for as much as I love Heliot, he's more of a corner guy. He's not a
Agree.
center fielder. He's not a center fielder. And so Grant's kind of taken over and letting Heliot do his thing off on the side.
Yeah, no, I when you watch Ramos play, it's like, hey, good outfielder,
Yeah.
true center fielder.
Yeah. No. And I've seen Ramos in the minor leagues too, and they tried to make him a center fielder. I was like, and then here's another thing, because I get everybody on the stopwatch. You and I talk about it. I those guys that run down to first base, I'm on the watch on them, and hey, those guys can run. Those guys are okay, not bad. Ramos, when he gets going, he's okay, but he's a 4-5 to first. Grant McCray is a 4-flat, 4-1 to first, so he can motor. So let him patrol the outfield. He's really good out there.
So Thrill, the Giants tonight are taking on the Chicago White Sox.
Yes,
the White Sox are 30-96.
That is
during
correct.
your days in the big leagues. I know you played some dog shit teams, man. What was your approach when it came to facing a team that is obviously not going anywhere? And what was your mentality to make sure that you got up for those games?
Not only myself, but then I would say things to my teammates, especially in the meetings and stuff like that. It's like, boys, this is where we make a lot of money right here. We beat on these guys. We got them down. That. They're not that great of a team, even though they're pros. Don't get me wrong. They're pros, and they can beat anybody on any given day. But while you got this team down, beat on them. Take advantage of it. If you're a pitcher, go out there and pound that son of a bitch in there. If you're a hitter, you get 2 knocks, look for 3. You get 3, look for 4. And you got to have that mentality of just staying after these people. And, that's how we have talked about this. A lot of everybody in the chat room knows this about me is when I'm facing a team that's below 500, you ain't beat me. No. I'm going to make sure that I'm prepared. I'm going to make sure that all of my teammates are prepared, and we're going to go out and win a minimum 2 out of 3, if not sweep the teams that we are supposed to beat. And this is one of the teams we're supposed to beat.
Well, I think about like those San Diego Padres teams back in the day that weren't great. And you guys would go in there and just absolutely fucking donkey stomp them.
Yeah.
And you would go get yours. And it's that mentality that's like, hey, this is where we make our living, boys. Right. It's kind of the same thing as when you're facing a 3rd, 4th, or 5th starter, right? Like those are the guys that you're going to go get yours on.
It's the same exact thing. And that's what, you brought up the Padres. Good one. I told you this is my favorite ballpark away from Candlestick to play in because Tony Gwynn had the grass cut this big, and you knew that if you freaking hit a few rockets, you'd get 8 hits in a series, 7 hits in the series. All right. And then you go in there and you saw their pitching staff. You're like, oh, I'm going to be able to barrel up a few balls in this series. And let's see if we can't, get that 7 or 8 hits, whatever it might be. And it's the same kind of thing right here. It was the same kind of thing when we were playing Oakland. We got to find a way to beat it. Actually, believe it or not, the 2 games against Oakland went late in the game. I was expecting a lot of stuff to happen early, especially, when we had Blake Snell out there just dealing away like he's been dealing the last month.
Yeah.
But here we are in the bottom of the first right now. Ramos is up. I'm fully expecting the Giants to get after it a little bit tonight, see how we do it.
Man, so am I, but look, man, like the guys on the other side get paid to do the same thing that you're doing, and they're really fucking good. They're in the big leagues, and the thing about Oakland, like Oakland's scary. Like this is the Oakland. Something wild. Oakland's like 23 games up on the White Sox. So like Oakland's actually legit. Oakland's they're certainly not the worst team. In baseball, they're 54, so they're 24 games better than the Chicago White Sox at 54 and 71. Even the Angels are under Oakland. They're 53 and 72. Oakland's having a good year, all considering.
Yeah, and then so let's check this one out because we even talked about it. We even talked about it when August started. Was with the exception of the Braves, and then I wound up going and looking at the rest of the schedule. I didn't look at it really that hard. With the exception of the Braves, you had the Brewers, who's coming up, and the Mariners, who are coming up. Those are the only three teams in August that were above 500. You have got to find a way in August to beat up on those below 500 teams, split, or maybe find a way to get, however, with the Braves and the Mariners and the Brewers, and then get into September being right in the middle of the standings. And to be totally honest, I mean, as far as like the wild card goes, there's only one team ahead of us. It's the Mets, believe it or not. And so, for me personally, let's get hot, boys. We just have not gotten hot. I mean, the whole time it's like, come on, get after it. Let's get a week where we win 7 straight. Here's the thing. So San Diego and Arizona are 1-2 in the wild card right now. Both of them same record, 71-55, right? Both of those guys 2 weeks ago went 9-1 in a 10-game span. That's what shoved them into the wild card lead right here. Then you got the Braves, who we just got through playing. You got the Mets, who are a game out, and we're 3.5 out. If we can get hot like the Diamondbacks and Padres did and go 9-1, dude, we're all up in the middle. We're all up in the middle of this right here. So, but you gotta get hot, and we have not been hot the whole year. So
they have the potential to do it, though, don't they?
Oh yeah, especially with the pitching they're running out there right now. Come on.
No. It's I can't think of a better team to get hot against than the most
hell yeah
shit team in Major League Baseball, the Chicago White Sox. Grady Sizemore takes over as the manager of the White Sox. They relieved, what was it, Ollie?
Whatever his name was that started the year.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be a tough task. I mean, but then again, you can't do much worse than they were doing.
Yeah, no, and and then that that's what I tell everybody. MLB, man, you're paid to win. You don't win, you're gone. See ya next. Give somebody else a shot. So Grady Sizemore, he's been around. He's been through the whole shooting match, but kind of funny right there. Andrew Vaughn just popped out to Matt Chapman. So Andrew Vaughn's a Cal Berkeley boy. So
stud. I root for Vaughn, and I actually feel bad. He's having a rough year like the rest of the White Sox. And this is a guy that I really, really do, root for. The first, second pick overall, I believe. Yeah. By the White Sox, him and Spencer Torkelson, who was number 1 the next year.
Yeah, so you got Vaughn, who was he was top 2, 3 picks in the country, whatever it was, might have been number 1. And then
I think he was 2. I think Adley Rutschman was 1 that year.
Okay, all right, and then in front of him you got Benintendi, who came out of Arkansas, was one of the upper echelon players in the SEC the year he came out of there. All right, and check out these batting averages. This is a major league team in August.
It's crazy.
211, 216, 215, 241. Vaughn is leading the team. 235, 217, 179, 219, 222. That's who we're facing tonight. So
you can't make this shit up, man.
No.
It's almost unbelievable considering that this is a big league team. There's not one guy in their entire lineup that has a 700 OPS. Not one.
How about
And,
the fact,
and 700, like league average is what, 720, 730?
I don't even know.
League average? They don't have one.
Hey, how about having one guy hit 250? That means you get one hit every 4 at bats. You just need one of those guys. Oh, and by the way, if you hit 250 in my area, your ass got sent back to AAA.
You're damn right. You're damn right. No, it's crazy, man. It really is. Hey, so Thrill, you sent me a thing yesterday.
Yeah.
And it actually has it's from not Gaetti. I really appreciate this account. I don't even know it. It says the most aesthetic swings of the last 50 years.
50 years.
The most aesthetic swings. So let's classify it. Basically the prettiest swings of the past 50 years. And they went 5 left-handed hitters in no order.
Right.
And then they went 5 right-handed hitters in no order.
Particular order.
So let's start with the left-handed hitters. Darryl Strawberry, Rafael Palmeiro, Ken Griffey Jr., Fred McGriff, and Will Clark. Your thoughts on being named to the most aesthetic swing of the last 50 years ball club?
I thought that whoever did that list did a pretty damn good job. I mean, Griffey and I were kind of like in our era, we were kind of synonymous. I mean, that's why, they dropped the natural on me and he was the kid and all that. But they talked about, getting through it and finishing high and all that. The one that surprised me on that list, and Fred McGriff, he got through there and he did the big helicopter jobby. And then Rafi was a straight front foot and just a freaking down through it guy. The one that surprised me was Darryl, believe it or not. I would not have thought Darryl would have been on the list. I'd have thought Tony Gwynn would have been on the list.
Yeah. You know what? I agree with this list. I love Tony Gwynn's swing. I think you could put Tony on there. It was pretty to watch. I think we could get rid of Palmeiro and replace him with Gwynn because I think they're very similar. Palmeiro obviously hit for some more thump, and Gwynn was just the much better hitter. And the fact that Gwynn was –
if we're going to go that route, Palmeiro hit a lot more thump than Darryl. A lot more thump than Darryl. So,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Darryl, though, for a very short period of time, who was it that I was talking to the other day? But they were saying that Darryl was such a – you know who it was? Tony Banks. Remember the old quarterback?
Yeah.
Right, played for the Rams, played for Baltimore. I did a podcast with him this past week, and it's called Shooting the Bull. And I was on there, and I just happened to be on there with Tony Banks. And Tony was saying that I think the question was if there was a baseball player that basically you could sit down and have a beer with, who's ever played the game at any point, any time, like who is that guy? And my answer was fucking Babe Ruth, right? Like who wouldn't want to sit down with the great Bambino and see what this guy was actually really like and the energy and everything else. Yeah. And Tony Banks' answer was Darryl Strawberry. Really? And then he talked about growing up and idolizing him and he's like that iconic swing. And I mean, dude, it was something special, right? He had the leg kick, the hands drop. I remember him.
He was 6'5", and he was high and come down through it, and then come up and out of it. Yeah, so
dude, I remember watching him take batting practice. I went to one of the games I went to at the Candlestick, and he was fucking bamboozling balls into that third deck, right? You hit a walk-off there. Was that against the lefty Meads?
Yeah.
And he was just like, just mind-blowing.
You know what else,
to see what he was doing.
This one skipped my brain. this one skipped my brain, and Big Mike brought it up, but Mattingly, I'll take Donnie Baseball's swing too any day of the week too. What nobody really realized about Donnie was not a big guy. He's kind of a little guy. He's like 5'8", 5'9". But man, he had a lot of juice in that package, brother. He had a lot of juice in that package.
But he was kind of squatted over, and there wasn't anything elaborate about it. Like, it was great swing, great player.
But technically, getting through it and all that, really good.
But you have to understand, Thrill, if you want to be on this list, it's not just about success.
Okay.
There's got to be something just so fucking beautiful.
Okay. All right.
About your swing. So those were the left-handers.
Go to right-handers. Go to right-handers. We need to have a discussion on this one. All right, go ahead.
This is interesting. So here are the right-handers. The first one, I as much as I love him, I would dispute immediately. It's an interesting swing. Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay.
The second one, Manny Ramirez. Of course.
That one is without a shadow of a doubt.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Alex Rodriguez. No argument here. Mark McGwire. Very interesting, but yeah, you certainly, can make the case. Here I'm in.
Okay.
And Mike Trout.
Okay.
If you slow down Mike Trout, it's fucking pretty. You got to really kind of, because he's got the scissor, right?
Yeah.
Like where the one leg comes back, the other, and it just, when everything works, you get that low pitch and he hits. Yeah, I'm totally with it. But you and I.
Yeah, my first thought was your first thought.
Yeah.
Which was, look, I love Goldschmidt, and I'll take him on my team, all right, without a shadow of a doubt. But Jesus Christ, you got to give me Edgar Martinez in there. You got to give me Edgar Martinez. Oh, my God. From the right side, oh, my God. There was nothing prettier than that. Sorry.
Nothing.
My 2 cents.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. It's the first thing that I sent to you. I'm like, hey, great list. I actually agree with almost everybody on there, and it's not even about that. But the fact that Edgar Martinez is not on here is a crying shame.
And I tell everybody till this day, when people ask me, what swings did you like to watch? If I went from the left side, I always went to Griffey and Tony. All right? Those are the two. If I went to the right side, I went Edgar and Manny. Those are my two. And to have Edgar not in that list, sorry. Because I can tell you one thing. From a technical standpoint, like as in how to get here, and do this and do that and do this, oh, yeah. He's one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the best.
So I used to go home in the offseason when I first played for the A's.
Oh, yeah, Wes. Freaking Craig Counsell here. Up here. One of them. Yeah, right, whatever.
So anyway,
he's 175 pounds, yeah.
I play with Counts. I
love Counts, but what the fuck are you doing up here like this? Hey, Carl Yastrzemski did it, but he was fucking 6'1". He had a little something behind him.
Dude, honestly, the two guys that I played with, and this is interesting because I'd love to hear yours, but the two guys that I played with that took the worst BPs of all time, Craig Counsell and Johnny Damon.
Oh, my God, really?
They barely hit it out of the fucking infield, man. I'm like, how are these guys good?
And then Damon would get in there and he go, yeet, and he just one hand shit and it just take off. You're like, how the hell did he hit that one like that?
I have no idea. I mean, it is crazy. that this dude that was not only a top pick, but that he went on to have this amazing career. Crazy athlete, insane athlete, right? Super fast, just too agile, awesome outfielder, great face runner, all of it. But in my mind, when you watch him hit batting practice, I'm like, dude, how the fuck can this guy hit? And then he get in the game, and it's 100 miles per hour, and he's like, explosions everywhere. Yeah. I mean, was there a guy like that in your career that just, I don't know, call him the anti 5 o'clock hitter, right? The ultimate 7 o'clock hitter, the guy that could turn it on as soon as the lights went on.
The guy that you would watch take batting practice, and you were like, what the hell is going on? Eddie Murray. He would take one of the most ugliest batting practice in the world, and then I would see him on first base. Either he'd get on first, I'd get on first, and I'm like, Eddie, what was up with the batting practice, dude? I watched you the whole time. I said, you were hitting shit off the end, and you were chopping it in the ground and all that, and he'd come up with some answer like, I was working on man on third, less than 2 outs, infield back. And I was like, oh, that's freaking genius. It was genius. And so then he would say, well, I was working on man on third, infield in, but I didn't want to get it all the way to the outfielder, so I was trying to bloop him in. I'm like, oh my God, that kind of stuff, It's like he came up with stuff, but in the game, you want to talk about somebody that would piss on the ball in the game?
Oh, yeah.
Don't make a mistake to that man right there.
No, he was a bad motherfucker. He was next level, dude.
Bad man. Yep.
I remember I was at a game when he was playing for the Dodgers against you guys, and I was sitting in the crevices seats. We had I don't know, call it 22nd row, right behind home plate. And I saw him hit a homer from the right side of the plate and the left side of the plate. I think it was a doubleheader too. I'm not sure if it was the same game or they did it in the first game and the second game. But this guy was just like, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Had that presence about him too. Yeah. I can't believe he was a comfortable at bat ever.
And he sat on pitches, and it was me being out in the field and having done that myself. It was like, he'd take this freaking horse shit swing, and they'd put on a fastball, and they'd put breaking ball down, and I'm like, no. Boom! I'm like, oh God, he just set your ass up, one of them numbers. And I saw it a bunch, when he played with the Dodgers. So anyway.
Is there anyone else that you could have seen on either one of those lists, by the way, as we close that one out?
Anyone that I could have seen?
Anyone else we could have put on that list that should be on that list that we somehow have forgotten?
We can go the other way. Instead of the prettiest swings, we can go the ugliest swings.
Well, let's start with Counsell and Damon.
You named Counsell and Damon. All right, I'll give you one. I'll give you one from the right side because I tell a story all the time. Is Hunter Pence.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We can do the freaking one of them numbers or whatever the hell he did.
He certainly had the worst on deck swing of all time.
Oh, by far.
I can't believe. I still to this day wonder what the fuck he was doing in the on deck circle.
Well,
it made no sense.
I told you what he was doing. I told you the story about the freaking samurai and cutting the guy's head off and all of that. Remember? You don't remember that story?
No.
All right. Yeah. So Pence gets traded over to the Giants, right? And the first time I see him, I'm in a suite level, and I'm watching him in the on-deck circle, and, the ball's supposed to be coming this way. You're supposed to be going that way. One of these numbers. He's going, yay, and he's standing there hitting himself in the leg, and I'm like, what the shit is this? So after the game is over, I went in to Buster Posey, and I go, Buster, what's up with Hunter's on-deck swing? He goes, right? And I go, yeah. He goes, nobody will ask him. I go, well, I'll freaking ask him, And So the next day during batting practice, right? I go up to Hunter and I go, "Hey, dude, I hate to say it, but you would think the ball's coming this way. You want to practice going that way. What's up with you trying to freaking hit yourself in the front knee? He goes, "Well, I read a lot," and I go, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Oh shit, what am I getting myself into here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm reading," and he made up some name. I don't even know the guy's name, but for the sake of the story, Sensei Masuyama. Okay, great,
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
And he's talking about the fluidity of the sword, and when he cuts some guy's head off, he like goes down through it, and the fluidity of the sword and all that. And I go, "Wait a second here." I go, "You're on deck swing to face a fastball coming this way, which you're supposed to go that way." I said, "Your on deck swing is based on some guy in the 1700s chopping some guy's head off." He goes, "Yes." I go, "There's something fucking wrong with you. You're fucked up." And that's Hunter Pence right there, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
dude, that's incredible, man. That really is.
I
I
love,
mean,
I love Hunter. I love Hunter,
so do
and I
I. So,
tease
dude,
him.
Hunter's the only
I
guy that's ever
tease him
filled in
to
for you on
death.
this.
Hey, we wouldn't have got all these freaking World Series rings without him. Thank you for doing that, Hunter.
No,
But I'm gonna tease you because you're funny as shit, and I gotta tell these stories.
but I actually miss him. We need to do a full show with him.
Yeah,
Maybe like just bring him on, and the three of us would freaking go crazy. He
yeah,
is he is dude. He's something special, man.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Like he
oh
just
yeah. And
like this guy's he walks to the beat of his own drum, and
whoa,
it's genuine, it's authentic.
no, what?
Like
What?
it's crazy, man.
All right, so here we go. So it happened again just now. So
Well,
let me
Giants
let me
scored.
just let me just run this one by you. All right, Matt Chapman singles. All right, Mikey
Yeah.
Yastrzemski singles. All right, Matt Chapman went all the way around the third. Okay, so now we got men on first and third, and runners in scoring position. And Taro Estrada, he grounded out, but we got the run home. So we're winning 1-0 in the top of the third. But I hate to say it, it kind of brings up a sore subject. We've talked about it before. The Giants, since July 30th, are hitting a major league low, 164, with runners in scoring position. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier in the show. You play teams below 500, you have to beat on them. When you get runners in scoring position with a bad pitching staff, you have to beat on them. And I mean, I hate to say it, 167 ain't going to cut it. If you want to get that 9 out of 10 game streak that we're talking about doing, we got to pick up the runs in scoring position. Let's go. Come on, boys.
The funny thing is, real like we don't need you hitting 500 with runners in scoring position, right? Just hit 300.
300.
300.
If you get two or three guys hitting 300 runs in scoring position, you're going to score 6-7 runs a game, without a shadow of a doubt. That boom.
Yeah, but dude, I'm looking at these OPSs for the Giants and the averages, and then you look at the ones for the White Sox. Like you gotta feel at least pretty good. Like the Giants' offense has been decent. Matt Chapman, by the way, I was gonna bring him up. 785 OPS, 20 homers on the year. He's damn near hitting 250, which I believe is above his career norm. He's having a hell of a season, man,
He is
and he's
having a
playing the
hell of a
Gold Glove
season.
defense.
I have been really impressed with Matt Chapman. If he'd
Me
have got
too.
off to a little bit better start, he wouldn't have had to kind of climb the mountain. But I mean, he's been on a gradual climb the whole year, and he's putting together a solid year. We had
Yeah,
a
no
double
question
cut and
about it.
relay, and we threw out a runner at home plate just now. So
Really.
so still 1-0 going into bottom of three. We got Casale, Fitzgerald, and Lamont Wade coming up this inning.
So this just happened. They threw a runner out at home.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because let's see here, top
Well,
third.
let's see. Wait a second. Top of second, bottom of two. top of 3. Yeah, should be going into the bottom of 4, right? Or bottom of 3.
No, bottom
Oh,
3.
wait. Now it's 1-1. What happened here?
Was there a review? Are we missing this? I
No,
mean, we got to have one of the
no,
cronies here live
we had
on.
a single. We had a single, and then yeah, White Sox challenged the tag play. Call on the field was overturned. He scores. So the
With a triple.
White Sox is still hitting.
Yep. I just pulled up. I realized I'm out of market now, so I can pull up the Giants game.
Yeah, and then the guy struck out. So now we are at the bottom of 3rd, but now it's 1-1.
They just struck out.
Yeah. So.
Question for you,
All right.
and then we'll get rolling here because I got the whole family sitting behind me, kind of doing their own thing, but we're stuck in this hotel room. David Ortiz and Derek Jeter had a little back and forth recently, and it was at this Fanatics Fest thing, and I guess Jeter kind of hinted to everybody that Ortiz had told him at one point that he wanted to play for the Yankees, right? So here's David Ortiz, this Hall of Famer, and here he is, saying, he tells Jeets and all the time they've been spending together doing the TV thing. He's like, oh yeah, I would have loved to play for the Yankees. And so there's been a lot of backlash against Ortiz for this. And I just scratched my head a little bit because I'm like, wait, hold on a second. If you were a ball player and you love the game of baseball and you love to win and you love to play in front of a big crowd and you love going to the playoffs and you wanted to win a World Series, of course you wanted to play for the fucking Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Didn't every ball player want to play for the Yankees?
Yeah. And I mean, here's Big Papi saying it, and he's a admitted cheater, steroid user, but he sucked ass with.
I don't think he's admitted. He did apparently fail a test. Okay, but go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, he sucked ass with the press, and the press got on his good side, and they voted him in the Hall of Fame, even though he's legitimately guilty. So now, yeah, of course you want to be a freaking Yankee. And, I mean, how many freaking World Series titles they got? 27, 28, 29? I don't even know how many they got. But, yeah, I mean, you think he'd have sucked ass, in Boston, he'd have done twice as good of a job in New York to get to the Hall of Fame. And here's another thing. I told you this before we came, on the show, but there were rumors back in the day that it was going to be a straight-up one-for-one trade, Will the Thrill with Don Mattingly. Back in the day, there were rumors back in the day, and people asked me, would you like to play in New York? I go, oh, hell yeah. I mean, not saying that I would have left San Francisco. I mean, that's my home. But if I'd have been traded, and I'd have had no say-so in the matter, I'm going to make the best of wherever I go. And why not go play for an organization with that kind of history? So I get where Papi and Jeter are coming from.
Dude, what a crazy trade that would have been.
How about that?
In the height of your guys' career.
Yeah.
Will Clark for Don Mattingly.
And that was when both of us were on a roll. So I mean, it'd have been like legitimately one for one, because I mean, both Gold Glovers, both freaking hitters, drove in a lot of runs, stuff like that, played, loved, captains of the team, that kind of shit. So it'd have been fun.
He's underappreciated.
Oh yeah.
Right? For playing in New York.
Yeah.
Doing what he did there.
Yep.
I mean, he's very much an East Coast version, of you, I think. I mean, I think Don Mattingly's a fucking Hall of Famer.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And he and I, back in the day, at like one of the All-Star games or whatever, we talked about it and we kind of laughed and giggled, and he was like, "You'd like New York," and I go, "You'd like San Francisco," that kind of shit. So it's fun.
Cool, man. All right, Thrill. It looks like the Giants are in business, runners at first and second.
Nobody
We got-
out with late night Lamont Wade up.
Yeah, base hit. Is that Fitzgerald again then?
Yeah.
I
So
mean, is this kid going to slow down at all or no?
yeah, no. So Casale reached on an error and then Fitzgerald singled. Hey, look, dude. That's the thing. I told you, and I've told several people, and I've told them for the last 2 years. Tyler Fitzgerald has problems getting going during the year, but once you hit like June, July, dude, this son of a gun's been on a roll the last few years. He's been 2020 the last 2 years, and he's done most of his damage after the All-Star break. So he's just doing what he's been doing the last few years in minor leagues.
Yeah, but it's tough to think that he'd be able to do it at this level for this long.
Yeah, now check this
in the
out.
big leagues,
Check
right?
this out. Well, I tell a lot of people this. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, it's actually a little bit easier on the major league level because the guys are around the plate more.
Yeah.
You know, in the minor leagues, as you well know, there's a lot of times they miss bad. You know, you don't necessarily have guys miss real bad up here. If you're looking for something, you're going to get it in that general vicinity up here.
2-1 count right now to late night Lamont. He takes a ball, so we have a 3-1 count.
3-1 count.
The pitcher for the White Sox.
This is
doesn't
where you
look
zone
like
him
he's
up and
featuring.
you get you a good pitch to whack.
All right, we'll take a look. Gorgeous night out there in San Francisco. 3-1 pitch, ball four. So the bases are now loaded.
I would imagine there's
no
probably
outs.
going to be the pitching coach is going to go out to the mound and say, "Hey, what's going on here?"
I mean, he's got to say something.
Yeah,
So you got Ramos, Conforto, and Chapman coming up, and here comes a pitching coach.
Hey, there we go. Imagine that. It's almost like we've been there and done that, huh?
Well, I mean, at this point, we got to get somebody loose in the fucking bullpen.
Well, I mean, you're talking about bottom of three. We just, we just scored one in the top of three on a review play, and the last thing you want to do is load the bases with nobody out with the middle of the lineup coming up.
Yeah. Here it is. Let me see if
Come
I can get
on,
it.
Heliot Ramos. Get a base hit with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, I mean, here he is, real. Takes a fastball inside. I mean, look how janky and illegal I'm sure this is. But Ramos, I like how they have the box score. The whole everything right there. Another fastball inside. I mean, we're 2-0 now.
Wait. That one he's trying to go away. He missed in bad. So now,
dude, he's all over the place.
Dude, this one right here, I'm bailing out over the plate. I'm looking for this ball away right here. He throws the ball away. I'm going to tattoo the shit out of this one. All right, let's see what you got. Fastball. Breaking ball. 2-0 breaking ball with bases loaded. That's where this game has gone to. You got to be kidding me, you big puss.
Yeah, but dude, I think he had to do that to throw a strike because his fastball was dog shit.
Change up. He freaking threw a 2-1 changeup. Now it's 3-1. What do you throw with bases loaded, nobody out after the pitching coaches come out there? You better throw a fastball away, dumbass.
Well, let's see. Here he goes.
Breaking ball.
Fouled off.
You got to be kidding me. 3-1 breaking ball.
I think that's probably what he feels the most confident with.
Evidently, because he ain't getting the rest of this shit over. Well, then let's go ahead and look for another breaking ball. Here we go. Let's look for a breaking ball. Breaking ball. Oh, shit. That was the one to hit. That's a freaking hanging slider right there.
Right down the middle.
That ball gets tattooed on the major league level.
Especially when you're looking for it.
When you're looking for it? Hell yeah.
Okay. Here's the 3-2 offering again.
We got
ball. Was that ball four?
Ball
Was
four.
it strike three?
That was ball four.
Oh shit, that barely missed, huh?
Yeah, no, that was way too close to take, but we'll take it. Good guys winning 2-1. Still nobody out.
Yeah, just off the plate away.
All right, here comes
As they show a review.
Here comes Michael Conforto. You
I got you.
have to look for a fastball away. Something away. Don't
Fastball
look
in,
for
popped
that
him up.
one. You
Popped
gotta
him up.
be shitting me. God damn it. That's why you look away. Balls away are easy to get in the air. You stay
Well, you
inside
just-
of them. You
take in though, right? Like if a ball comes in, you just take it.
Get out of yourself. Fuck.
That's why you take it though, correct?
Yeah,
Thrill?
exactly. You don't swing at that pitch. That's
Nah,
not a
man.
pitch to drive. That's a ball up under your elbows.
Okay,
All right,
here's
Matt
Chapman.
Let's see what we got for Matt Chapman. How about looking
The
slider?
man of the hour.
Because you're gonna get a slider if Elliot Ramos. There's a slider. You're gonna get
If
a
he's
slider.
throwing
if Elliot
Ramos
got
3-2 sliders,
a 2-0 and a 2-1 and a 3-1 slider, you're gonna get a slider. Guess what I'm looking for this whole at bat, ladies and gentlemen?
slider.
See what we got.
All right. 1-0.
All right. We'll let him have that one. That was a cutter.
1 ball, 1 strike. Now we need to get this runner home from third.
Yeah.
At the very least.
All right. I'm still trying to whack this ball if I'm Chapman in right center. Ooh, you just missed that one.
It was a hanger, wasn't it?
That was a hanger.
Am I missing something?
No, you're not missing anything. That was a hanger. That's the ones we get paid to hit. Guess what's coming, ladies and gentlemen? A slider. All right, here we go. Slide piece.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Come on.
1 out.
You got this. You got this. Come on, baby.
Chapman.
Mm-hmm.
In his stance, ground ball,
Oh,
double
no.
play. Oh, fuck.
God
Oh, pin.
damn it.
Oh, dude.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, so, wait a second. Our 164 average in runs and scoring position has now gone down.
We love Chappie, though. We love Chappie having a great year.
Hey, look, you hit it good, but shit happens. But, hey, that's what you get for
You
missing
missed
the
the
hanger.
slider, the pitch
get for missing
before
the
the
hanging
hanger. You
That's
missed the
what you get
hanger.
You don't
You can't miss a hanger.
Shit.
This is the big leagues.
God
Throw.
damn it.
In the big leagues, you get 1 pitch to hit per at-bat, correct? One.
One really good one.
That's it. Do not miss that pitch.
Yeah, I can't miss it. You got to get it yonder.
And when I mean miss it, when we talk about miss it, I'm talking like you can't foul it off, dude.
No, that's what that's exactly what we're talking about. Look, if you tell me that a slider's coming and I know a slider's coming, sorry, that ball is being put in play.
Yep. All right, Thrill, I got to run, man. Good talks, good shit as always.
It was
Great
it was
stories.
great shit. Look, I'm in for next week, so you guys.
Good
you
little
guys
run
have a
by
good
you.
time. You guys have a good time in Savannah. Take care of the fam, and we'll do our thing next week. Hopefully, you get your no filter shirt by then.
So I can't wait. I'll be pimping it next week. I'm back Sunday, so I'll be digging. I'll be digging through the one of. I'm going to guess no less than 57 boxes waiting for me on the front porch when we return home. As my wife's smiling, she has this shitty grin on her face, like she can't even deny it.
No, she can't. And neither can my wife. She can't deny it either. But
hey, and Tara always said, Tara just said it again. She goes, "It's laundry detergent in dog food."
Oh yeah, that's what they blame it on. They blame it on, but then all of a sudden you see this 6 packages of earrings or whatever. So, hey, we are going to the ranch this weekend. Have a little work weekend. Tommy Luke will be there. I know Big Mike and Josh will be there in thoughts and prayers. Tom Aliotti. We will see you in San Francisco and have a little lunch or breakfast, whatever, and have a good one.
That's it, Thrill. Yeah, I love the interactions. Love the boy. I was not much on the chat today, so I'll apologize to everybody. I mean, anyone we should recognize here on the way out besides
I've been
besides our
following
guy
I've
Luker.
been following the chat. I've been following the chat. Everybody stayed with us. We
Okay.
commented on a few things, but next week we'll get back in there a little bit deeper.
Yeah. All right, dude.
Hey.
Last thing for everybody from a Southern.